Sadiq Khan, London's new mayor, has decided to ban, air quotes, unrealistic body images of women on the public transport system. Now, this is in reference to a change.org petition, so they say. He says that, it's because of a change.org petition. We wanted to abide by their wishes and ban these images of women because they promote unrealistic body types. He said that he's raising 2 daughters and he does not want them to have to go on the transport system and then be, air quotes, pressured by these ads to make women feel like they are inferior if their body is not up to snuff. Now, if you've not seen the ad, I'll place it on the screen before you, and you can see what the ad says, are you beach body ready, etc. So it's basically saying, tighten your body up, get ready for the bikini. Now, if you don't know too much about Islam, in Islam, the women have to be covered up. And there's various forms of dress, and I'll place a few of them on the screen before you. The main one that is causing a stir in UK and all over Europe is the burka, which is like the full, complete body covering. You can't see anything. It's like a giant trash bag that women wear in public. It doesn't matter if it's hot, cold, sunny, snowy, cloudy, rainy, whatever. They wear the burka to cover themselves up from head to toe. And you also have the niqab and the hijab. It's just various forms of the same thing, head coverings, etc., because they don't want their women to be exposed. Now, that's part of their culture. They say it's because of Islam, it's because of the Quran, it's because of the Hadith, etc. But a big part of it, many of them cannot control themselves otherwise. You see what happened in Cologne and the New Year's attack of last year, where you had dozens of German women that were raped, molested, harassed at this actual New Year's gathering. And there's been other instances of the same thing happening in France, UK, Sweden, etc. I read online where they said that in Oslo, Norway, all of the rapes were committed by Muslim immigrants. 100% of all the rapes that were reported. Now, that's not to say that there were some rapes that were unreported that did not happen by, the Muslim immigrants, but come on, 100% of all reported rapes. I don't think there's this conspiracy out there that Norwegian women just want to cover up their rapes at the hands of Norwegian men and they want to blame Muslims instead. I think there's a serious problem with the Muslim men doing it themselves. But I digress. Let's get back to the whole thing about London. See, here's a situation. Many people have defended Mr. Khan, the Muslim mayor, for doing this by saying, hey, it was a change.org petition and he had to respond. I mean, they got 17,000 signatures. But if you just go to change.org and search for Sadiq Khan, there's a page for him and you can see all the petitions that have been submitted to him. And many of them also have a similar amount of signatures. And my thing is, okay, so to get a law on the books, all you got to do is just get a certain number of people to sign a petition. I mean, is it that easy? I think what happened here was that he took advantage of the movement for his own purposes, of the feminists and of their ideology, and I put a picture right here on the screen before you of some feminists or some people that appear to be like feminists posing in front of the actual sign on the public transport. I think it's a subway. And you can see they're kind of like not really in shape, or they feel like they're not really in shape. I don't think they look that bad personally, but I think maybe they think they don't look as good as the picture, which is obvious, but that's fine. I mean, not everybody's going to be that kind of image. Not everybody's going to be the image that they look. I've seen some, straight street wheels out here. Not everybody's going to be able to have a certain body. Some women would kill to have their body, right? So I don't really see the whole big thing. People are just jealous at this woman that's on this ad who probably works all day and all night to get her body to be that way. But I digress. The whole point is Sadiq Khan is taking advantage of these women, of the kaffir, of the non-believers that don't even understand what's going on, that don't understand the chess game being played. I'm not really a chess player per se as far as the actual board game, but I think that way. I think several steps ahead in whatever I do. If I make a plan, I think about how it's going to happen in phases. It's just like if you build a bridge. If you live in a city where you see construction going on, they're going to build a new span to a bridge, or they're going to build a new highway or something like that, and it requires an overpass or underpass or something like that to be built. You can see it happening in phases, but what you don't see is all the things happening behind the scenes. You got to be able to understand if it's going to affect any kind of wildlife. You got to bring in the Army Corps engineers sometimes. You got to bring in a lot of different people to survey the land to make sure that it's suitable for the project that's being constructed. You also got to be able to figure out how you're going to fund it. Are you going to have a toll? Will it be state dollars? Will it be federal dollars? Will you do any kind of tax increases? How are you going to be able to fund the project? And then you got to establish a timetable. How long is it going to take? How much will it cost? How long is it going to take? Will the land be suitable for construction? All of that has to go into the background before construction begins. It's the same thing going on here. To the average person, they don't even understand what the plan is, so they can't even identify what the steps are, right? They don't understand that the plan here is to make Londonistan more suitable to the Islamic community that has pretty much taken over. I think now you're only at 45% of ethnic white Brits in London, and the majority of the rest are immigrants. And I think a large majority of that immigrant population are Muslims from all over the Middle East, all over the world, right? And they're establishing little enclaves all throughout Britain, really, but especially in London. So Sadiq Khan, being a Muslim himself, he is sympathetic towards that goal, and he's seeing what's happening in certain Muslim communities or areas that are close to Muslim areas. You have these other advertisements that go up. The picture on the screen before you happened in 2011. So this is something that's been going on for a very long time, way before Sadiq Khan even decided to run for office. This has been going on, where you see this picture that has been defaced. Now you can see how it's been defaced very specifically. I mean, you have what appears to be black marker, spray paint or something that is completely covering the woman from, her whole upper body and most of her lower portion. And then also her face is covered. That's a big thing to think about. Why would that be covered in that way? Why would a poster of a woman wearing a bikini or some kind of swim attire be covered that way? It's because they're trying to send you a message. They're trying to say, look, we don't want these women to be looking like this in London because we have a large Muslim community. We don't like that in our culture. We cover our women up, and that's what's going on here. And there are other images of this. This is not an isolated incident of the covering up. And I placed another one right here, and you can see how it did the exact same thing with black marker. And then my thing is, why does it have to be black marker, spray paint or whatever? Why can't it be a different color? Because the thing is, most of these hijabs, niqabs, the burka are the black color. That's what they put on it, right? And then in the article, people say, hey, that's pretty much how women look around here. Matter of fact, in the picture before you can see what it is. You can see the woman wearing her cover right next to this ad where the women have been covered up as part of the defacing of it, right? That's what's going on. So here you are, fast forward 2016, you have Sadiq Khan in office, and he's a Muslim, of course, and very vocal at that. He said that, moderate Muslims are Uncle Toms. I've said that in the previous video where I reacted to him becoming the actual mayor. I said that, hey, this guy is called moderate Muslims Uncle Tom. So how can you sit there and say that he's a moderate person himself when he wants to call the moderates Uncle Toms? It doesn't make any sense, but I digress. He is a Muslim mayor. He's in power now. So he's seeing things like this happen where the women have been covered up on the advertisements through vandalization. So he knows that the Muslim community does not want these ads up. So what does he do? He takes advantage of a perfect situation. These feminists out here trying to say, take down the ad. So it's like, cool, let's take it down. We don't want to have any kind of sexualized images of women. We don't want to have women feel like they have to be, a certain way physically. Cool, let's take it down. What's the next step? Well, of course, they're going to have ads of women wearing burkas and hijabs and niqabs and everything else. That's not a problem. To say that a woman should not be able to be fit and be beautiful and have on a bikini, which is fine in Western culture, to say that that's not okay is all right. But to say that a woman should not be in a burqa because that is like completely covering up her body and she's not able to have the freedom to appear how she wants to appear. If you go there and say that, now you're a racist, right? I don't really get it. How can you say on one breath that it's not okay for a woman to express herself in the way that she wants and to be beautiful and to be fit and athletic and to show it off in the bikini, right? You're saying that's not okay, but at the same time, you say that it is okay for a woman to be restricted in what she's able to do, how she's able to present herself. She has to cover herself up completely. It doesn't matter rain, sleet, hail, snow, hot, cold, whatever, right? I think that's the end game here. You can't even have like a bikini photo. It's like, all right, if we're advertising bikinis, swimwear and whatnot, And the UK is an island surrounded by water, but you can't even have a bikini photo in an ad. It makes no sense. But what they won't say that you cannot wear a burkini. Now, if you don't know what a burkini is, that's a burka and a bikini combined, right? You have the covering effect of what the burka is, but then it's kind of like active swimwear. I mean, they let you have the color that's not black. You got like a little navy blue or a water blue or something like that with a little bit of pattern on it, looking real sexy, completely head to toe covered. It's like you're wearing pajamas that are kind of loose, right? It's not as bad as the burqa where it's like a complete trash bag, bed sheets, KKK robe. You actually got a little bit of a slimmer fit to it, even though it is not a tight fit at all. That's okay to cover a woman completely up like that, but it's not okay for a woman to be able to express herself freely. And I thought feminists were all about being able to express themselves freely, but maybe not. I can't tell. But like I said, this is part of a greater plan. This is just the beginning. First, you're going to say, okay, no sexy images of women on the public transport. Then you're going to say, okay, well, burqas are fine. Matter of fact, in certain areas, you'll be required to wear a burqa. And if you don't have a burqa on, you will be denied entry. That's the next step. Then you're going to have halal meat in schools. Like, if that's not already there, I'm pretty sure that it is. And it's just going to go forward from there because it's a greater plan going on than what you see before you. The feminists don't even understand what's going on. The feminists that are there in their bikini next to this photo eventually will not be able to do that. Eventually, they have to wear that burqa or cover up, or they would not be able to go into certain places that are designated as Muslim safe spaces. Oh, it's coming. People said that when Sadiq Khan was elected, that there will be no changes, there will be no concessions to Islam, but here we are. If you think that this is not a concession to Islam, then you're just being blind. This is an obvious concession to Islam, straightforward, right in front of your face. So that's all I got to say about it. So what do you think? Do you think it's an obvious attempt at Muslim takeover of the island of Britain, of the UK and Northern Ireland? Piece by piece, little by little, they chip away. Just one little policy change here, one little policy change there, and it then just snowballs. And then you have the influx of immigration from the Muslim world, and it just kind of goes like that. Muslims get in power, they become stronger in number, and that's how it is. Or am I being just overly dramatic? Am I being paranoid? Is it just the feminists wanted to have this thing done and then the mayor capitulated? Maybe it's just me. I mean, I don't know. You tell me. Whatever your comments are, positive or negative, let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.